अधिक ऑडियो आणि Good evening, everybody. So, before starting today's webinar, the topic for which is managing cash flow for your small businesses, let's check the technical part, whether you're able to hear my voice, whether the voice is audible. So kindly let me know if you're unable to hear my voice. Also check whether the screen is visible. Hello everybody. My name is Poonam Dongre and topic for today's webinar is managing cash flow of your small businesses. So before going forward with the webinar topic, let's have a look whether the screen is properly visible. So if there is any problem, kindly let us know in the chat window. Also, if my voice is not audible, please ping us in the chat window so that we will work on the technicalities. So we'll start the webinar in next 5 minutes. Before that, let's have a look that if everybody is able to see the screen and also hear my voice accordingly. So friends, 5 more minutes. We are just checking the technicalities. And then we will go ahead. So I hope you all are eager to know more about what is cash flow and how to go and how to manage your cash flow. So I'm taking a pause of 2 to 3 minutes, max 2 minutes, and then we'll start the webinar. So I request again all the attendees to check whether the screen is visible and also to see that it is clear and also my voice is audible. Please let us know if you're facing any problem in sound as well as visuals. Hello. So, can the attendees hear me now? Is my voice audible? So, I hope everything is okay. You're able to see the screen clearly, and also my voice is audible. So, let's start with today's webinar. Topic is managing cash flow of your small business. So, good evening, friends. My name is Poonam Dongre. I will be the speaker for today's webinar. So, a small introduction about myself. I work as a content team lead in deAsra Foundation. And we will start our presentation with introduction about deAsra. So, deAsra Foundation is a not-for-profit organization. Our aim is to offer end-to-end support to small businesses. deAsra Foundation was started by Dr. Anand Deshpande, Chairman, Founder, and MD of Persistent Systems. deAsra Foundation is a family foundation and it is raised from Dr. Anand Deshpande's own funds. So the name deAsra stands for, so let's have a quick look at the initials. So the initial two letters, DE stands for Deshpande, A stands for Anand, S stands for Sonali, that is his wife, R stands for Riya, and A stands for Arul. These are his two kids. So basically what we do at deAsra is we try to help entrepreneurs to start, manage and grow their businesses. So we encourage entrepreneurs to start their business and help them in each stage in setting up their business, also in queries regarding licenses and legal compliances. Also, we fulfill the funding requirements. So we also prepare a project report, a bankable project report, which is required when you go for a proposal, when you go for loan, when you opt for a loan in a bank. So we help the entrepreneurs, the new entrepreneurs in all these areas. So going forward, we help them grow their business. For example, if it's an existing business and if a person is thinking of, yes, expanding his business, we do provide assistance for him on how to expand his business, what steps he need to take to expand his business. So at deAsra, our goal is to take forward or encourage entrepreneurship. So the question here comes, why? So why is this our goal, or why we have thought about it? So because if you see at the present scenario, job opportunities are very less. Of course, people are well educated, they are graduated from schools, high schools, but then the recent market, we see that there are not much jobs available. And on the other side, uh, these new people who have come out of the education schools, of the institutes, have a lot of innovative ideas in their mind, have a lot of different business ideas in their mind, which they actually have a dream of, and they want to bring it into reality. But then problem here comes as, how should I fulfill the criterias which are needed to fulfill my dream? So they come up with new ideas, they have innovative ideas, and they finally want to establish new businesses. So if you have a talent, knowledge, and appropriate experience, and you wish to start a business, then this is the best way to go ahead. So when you start your own business, naturally, as per your need, you would hire 1 or 2 employees, that is minimum 1 or 2 employees. And as per your requirement, you may hire more employees also. So in such a way, you tend to create employment for those individuals who are seeking jobs but do not have business ideas. And also, maybe in later phase, these individuals themselves will become entrepreneurs and hire more employees. So this is kind of a circle, friends. If you understand, you are having a business idea, you have a dream to establish your own business. However, once you get the process of how to establish it and you establish your business, then you may require 1 or 2 people, as I said, and in turn, going forward, when they learn from your business, even they may establish their own business and create more jobs. So here the purpose is creating more jobs in the market rather than just waiting for job interviews or applying for different companies. So starting with business, becoming an entrepreneur, and also hiring employees will help society, will help in creating jobs, and will be a best model to go ahead with. So now let's go ahead with our today's topic, that is cash flow management, and see what is cash flow management. So cash flow management, where is this derived from? So what do you think, friends? Where does cash flow management comes from? What is the need for cash flow management? So basically, in existing businesses where the business is already running, and then some part of the area is missing, here comes the cash flow problem. So what we are going to see is, how will you identify the problem area? If identified, then what will be the action to be taken, corrective action for this, and how to identify it? So it can be identified through a business performance evaluation. So I am a bit stressing on the word business performance evaluation. I'll run you through this, what it is, what does it means, and how will it help you to assess your business. So there are 5 key performance indicators, or 5 areas. Key performance indicators is a technical term, but then there are 5 areas in your business which help you decide, or which help you understand what is the status of your business. So studying these 5 areas is very essential. And friends, each area is correlated. So if there are growth in sales, then obviously there will be a growth in profit. So if compliance and asset efficiency are not managed, then in turn it may affect your day-to-day sales, your cash, and also growth in profit. So we need to focus on the 5 important parameters. However, today we are going to focus more on availability of cash. So see how to see whether I am having the availability of cash or whether there is a lack of cash, that is the liquid cash. We need to identify these problems. So availability of cash is the second KPI. First is growth in sales, then is growth in profit. Fourth is compliance. It is again a very essential part of your business. And the next one is asset efficiency. So managing your assets. So let's focus on the second KPI, that is availability of cash. So what do you see here, friends? There is a phrase, so much of month left at the end of money. There is something wrong. So, I mean, is the owner able to figure out what's happening? So the entire month he used cash, he made expenses, he made payments for those expenses, and now so much of month has left at the end of money. So how to identify this? And assuming availability of cash is in problem area, how to identify this is a problem. What is cash flow management? So what solutions you can have to improve it? Certain suggestions from our end. Will also give certain suggestions from our end. Also, what services deAsra can offer to you as a problem solving area of availability of cash. So these are the points which we'll cover in cash flow management. So much of month left at the end of money. This means you are having a cash flow problem. So how will you identify this? Say it's a 30 days month and suddenly you realize that it's 25th of February, for example, and you don't have enough cash in hand. You don't have liquid cash in hand. And still there are certain payments and certain expenses that are scheduled and you are unable to make them. So yes, this is a serious problem, but then of course, we also have solutions to it. We also have certain tools. So in a way, you can manage your cash flow. So certain expenses are scheduled at the end of the month. And if you're running out of cash, then certainly you are having a cash flow problem. That is the problem of money, the liquid cash. Correct? So let's see how to solve this problem, because we have already identified it was a month of 30 days and I'm unable to pay my expenses which were scheduled at the end of the month. So it's difficult for me. Now I need to either borrow money from my friends, relatives, or do something, but I have to meet those expenses, right? I mean, I don't have any other option. In such a short period, it's difficult to raise funds and meet the expenses. So friends, we have to be alert. We have to be very alert on the expenses we make in the entire month. Also, we have to be alert on how do we manage our cash flow. So let's go ahead. So let's see what is cash flow management. So I'm going to read out this, but then I'll surely explain you. So cash flow management is keeping track of inflow and outflow of money and analyzing if any changes in it in order to meet the business requirements. So what does this mean, friends? So it is cash flow management is keeping a track of inflow and outflow of money. So inflow and outflow. So various sources from where you generate cash, that is your inflow, and various expenses where cash is needed, where you need to spend money, your business money. So that is, for example, it can be salaries, it can be electricity bills, it can be, say, if you suddenly need requirement of more employees, then again you need to hire more employees. So again there is a hiring cost. So these are the expenses of any business. These are the general businesses. So you can say a baseline. So these businesses, these expenses we need to manage. So as I said, salaries, electricity bills, maybe hiring of more employees. If you suddenly also think of increasing manufacturing capacity, not suddenly, but yes, if you have thought of increasing the manufacturing capacity and you haven't thought of managing the cash for it. So obviously managing your, increasing your manufacturing capacity may also need certain investment, right? But then you haven't thought of managing that cash. You haven't thought of how to invest the excess cash or how to manage the excess cash. Also, managing the overheads. This may increase or decrease as per the manufacturing capacity. Tracking and analyzing the changes is also required, is also very necessary in cash flow management. So basically cash flow is what? Meeting your cash requirements, your business requirements. So cash inflow and outflow is meeting your cash requirements. So there are 3 points which are explained about cash flow management. So knowing when, where, and how your cash needs will occur. So after running a business for a couple of months, it is really, a businessman gets a gist of it. He can guess where the cash is required, when the cash is required, and like how, what amount of cash is required. So going forward, while studying the need of cash flow, we also need to study the past trends. As I said, this problem usually comes in existing businesses. So when we study our past trends, what happened in last year? Where did I needed cash? Where did the cash requirement arise? When was it arised? So when we think about this, then we get to know the entire cash flow cycle of our business. Accordingly, we plan for the next year. So it happens. I mean, sometimes there are unplanned expenses also. Say, for example, I'm running a beauty parlor, a salon, and suddenly you can say the two of my hair dryers were not working or they got damaged, and I have to buy two of the new hair dryers. So this is an unplanned expense. Or for example, you can say uh, I was running the salon and it was summer season, and I figured out that there is no AC in my salon which is required for that summer season. Because of this, the footfall or the customers coming to me are the numbers are going down, whereas the salon, say in the say next to me, is running really good, but then the services are compared to me are not that good. Then I figured out, oh my god, so this is where you need to study your business, the need of your business, and accordingly plan a cash need also. Friends, so buying a AC, air conditioner is again an expense, and it is an unplanned expense. So for me, it obviously here was an unplanned expense, and I didn't have a ready cash for it. So this is where a cash flow management problem arises. So if I utilize the cash which is in hand and it is already allotted to certain needs, it is already allotted for certain other expenses, for certain other payments, and if I use that cash, then I may land up into a problem because that cash is already planned, and this was an unplanned expense. Though it is required, though it is very necessary, but then I am landing up into a cash flow management problem here. Okay. So unplanned expenses, yes, we need to study what can be unplanned expenses. So studying the past trends, it may help us. So second one is being prepared to meet these needs when they occur. So we have to be prepared for these needs as and when they occur. So there should be certain portion, certain amount of cash that has to be kept aside for such unplanned expenses. So this will help us to improve our cash cycle, the cash flow cycle. Third one is knowing the best source for meeting additional cash needs. So we also need to know what will be the best source for me to meet additional cash needs. So we need to figure out this beforehand. So as I again said, I'll repeat this once again. Cash flow management involves knowing when, where, and how your cash needs will occur, being prepared to meet these needs when they occur, and knowing the best sources for meeting additional cash needs. When I say here best sources, friends, I mean the sources from where the rate of interest is comparatively less, is comparatively economical, so you can afford the loan facility or the advance facility. Let's go ahead. So let's see what is need for cash flow management. Okay. So need. Why is there a need for cash flow management? So the need is very clear. To run your business smoothly, efficiently, there is a need for cash flow management, right? So first one, for ensuring cash liquidity. So we need to ensure what is the cash liquidity. So I'm just focusing on the liquidity term over here. I'm more stressing upon the liquidity term. So liquidity is the cash in hand, the actual disposable cash. So in order to sell certain things, you need to meet the order in hand. Also, you need to ensure if you are having a liquid cash. For example, if I need to buy certain things right now, I need to have liquid cash in hand. So the next one is, let's go for the second one. That is monitoring cash inflow and outflow. So monitoring means to understand from where you are going to receive money and from where you are going to make payments. From where, as in from which amount you are going to make payments. So that is monitoring of inflow and outflow. So we need to understand from where the cash is going to come into my business. For example, if I have certain products to sell, sale of certain products, which maybe I have targeted, say 100 products I'm going to sell for this month, and I'm going to get 10,000 rupees of against those products. Then monitoring whether I'm getting or not these cash inflow is accurate or not is required. So next one is recording receipts and payments. So we need to record. So while monitoring cash, what does we mean is recording also the receipts and payments. So if we keep our records clear, then it is very useful for us. It is useful for our accountant also to get a clear view, to get a clear picture of our business. And it also helps to monitor the records. For example, if I haven't received a payment from certain, say from certain customer, and I have kept a track record of it, then it would be easy for me to monitor my cash, to monitor from where the payment is yet to come. So monitoring cash, yes. So I also see here, just give me a minute. I also see few attendees have joined recently. I'll just give a quick view. We haven't gone much ahead in the webinar. What we spoke about was what is cash flow management, what is the need for cash flow management, and what I'm going to cover in the webinar. That is how to identify the problem and certain suggestions. Okay, so let us be on the same page, on the same track and go ahead. So the third one, managing limited cash resources effectively. So what happens here, friends, is we have limited cash resources. So we need to ensure on how to plan our activities accordingly. So if we are having limited cash, then we need to plan the business activities accordingly. If able to delay certain payments, we can do that. If certain expenses we can delay them, I mean, if it is allowed in our business, of course, then we can do that. So playing with the limited cash and managing it is important. So we need to focus on the amount of limited cash we are having and our priorities. The fourth one is planning for timely debt repayment. So when I'm saying debt repayment, that is, you're going to receive certain amount. For example, on 30th of November, I'm going to receive certain amount, and I might also be having certain payments on same date. So that is a debt. So you need to plan for it accordingly. You also need to pay to supplier. There you need to manage the cash as it may hamper your credibility, because the supplier needs his money in time, correct? And if you're unable to pay him the decided the decided amount, the promised amount to him, then this creates a bad impression in the market. So next time while supplying certain products, he may think about it beforehand, correct? So this may hamper your credibility. So be very careful while planning for timely debt repayment. While managing your supplier, be careful. So maybe if not paid in time, if not if you are unable to pay him in time, then he may not give goods on credit. If payment not made to him, then he may also uh, you know next time give any excuses. And what happens is your EMIs, your other expenses are also dependent on this. So you need to plan accordingly for it. Next one is providing adequate funds for expansion. So expansion of business, that is to grow your business. So adding an additional services, that is, you have thought of adding more services, adding more products, or you have thought of doing research and development for your business. That is what is expansion of your business. And you need to be very much sure on how much funds you will need on expansion. So this may also lead to adding of or addition of more people, that is hiring of more employees. You may also need to buy certain assets. So beforehand, based on the type of the business, if it's technical, sorry, for example, putting it in a technical term, putting it into a terminology, what is required is providing the adequate funds for expansion. The last one is planning for investing surplus cash, which will generate revenue. So surplus cash, that is the cash remained after meeting all the expenses. So what happens? I mean, this cash we need to use it wisely, because it is required in the entire business activity. So we need to use it wisely. We can also, or we have to reinvest it somewhere in the business, in our existing business, of course. It can also be reinvested into your business. Say if you need buying additional assets, then yes, this surplus cash can obviously come to use. And friends, for example, if you are not planning for expansion, but then the excess cash has to be, I'm stressing on the word has to be, it has to be invested somewhere else, wherein you'll generate, again, you'll generate cash. So for example, there are different ways in investing your cash. You can put it into fixed deposit, you can invest it into mutual funds, etc. So what happens is when you actually need a cash, you are ready with the funds already. So I've covered all the 6 needs, the basic needs that are required for cash flow management. So these are very essential. So first is again ensuring the cash liquidity, monitoring cash inflow and outflow, managing the limited resources, the cash resources very effectively, planning for timely debt repayment, providing adequate funds for expansion, planning for investing surplus cash, which will generate revenue. So let's go ahead. So this was the need for cash flow management. So how is the cash flow management identified? How you or how one can identify the cash flow management? So you have planned for generating at least say 5 to 10% profit in your business and you're generating it. So good. I mean, if you're generating the profit you have budgeted for, you have planned for, then it's good. At the end of the year, you have done your profit and loss statement, the balance sheet also. So this is the scenario wherein you have planned certain targets, certain goals for your business, and you have achieved them. But then during the year when you had a cash crunch, say that can be a very short period, may not be a larger amount of period, but then the short period in which you had a cash crunch is where the cash flow problem was. Even though if you were achieving the targets, even though if uh, you have marked up to the budgeted sales, budgeted profits, still at a certain period when you had a cash crunch, that was where the cash flow problem was. So once you realize it, that even if I'm meeting the profits and still having a cash crunch, then there is a problem which is in disguise. So I'm unable to figure it out, but it is there, of course. So currently, things might seem to be working very smoothly, but then to identify a cash flow problem, how will you do this? So there are certain we have made this 5 key questions wherein you can identify the cash flow problem. Are you receiving the payment from most of your customers within the time limit you have given? Are you able to pay most of your suppliers within the stipulated time? Are you able to make payment for most of your expenses in time? Has the EMI been paid on regular basis? Is the CC account within the limit and interest is paid on regular basis? So usually existing entrepreneurs study their balance sheets, P&Ls. They go through them and understand. So when they assess the receipts and vouchers, it becomes a very clear picture for them that where the cash flow problem is located. So again, credit to customers, yes, we have to give credit to customers, but it has to be a limited period. You have to limit it. So making payments to your suppliers, I would suggest consult other business owners, ensure the credit period is not much higher or lower as compared to the market trends. So making the payments of most of your expenses, that is again the inflow and outflow, which I explained. Making the payment depends on it. Also give certain discounts to your customers. Has the EMI paid on regular basis? The EMI has to be paid on regular basis, as this may affect your CIBIL score if you fail to repay your EMI. And also on the assets, as they also may get affected because they are taken as a security. Again, the term loan, that is again the cash credit, that is a CC account. We have to focus on it. If we do not pay the CC account in time, if we do not keep the limit of CC account in time, then it can be again a bit questionable because the interest which we pay is at a higher rate then. So again, that goes in unplanned expenses. So as you see the screen, kindly click or tick on yes or no to these 5 questions. So you'll analyze if you are in a problem of certain area. Let's go ahead. So this is a live case study which we had at deAsra. So what happened here was Mr. Suraj Kumar, the name obviously is being changed. So he was doing a bakery business and obviously he was also attaining profits. But then certainly his profits were utilized somewhere else. He was unable to figure it out. So in spite of achieving profits, he was unable to, at the end of the year, he was unable to locate where the profits are gone because the balance sheet and the P&Ls, obviously they showed that the profits are there. And however, they were not seen. As in, the cash flow was not proper. So he came to deAsra for help. He asked us that what's happening exactly. So when we studied his business, when we studied the business activity, we found out that he was paying heavy rate of interest on the loans which he had taken from different private institutions. So he came to deAsra He had a word with our Udyog Mitras. We also gave him a mentor consultation. So our mentor guided him on what exactly is a problem area for him. So mentor had a word, a deep conversation with him. He understood what his business is and what exactly happened. Finally, we gave him a solution that he has to approach a bank. This obviously took little time for him to find the right lender, but then yes, it was worth. So what happened was he went to a lender, he figured out a lender, a bank which gave him a loan at a lesser rate of interest, and also his earlier two loans were acquired by that bank. That means they were restructured. So suddenly his profits were able to locate it. So accordingly, we also showed him a new, we also prepared a new project report for him, and then we submitted that to the bank. The bank accepted the proposal and a restructuring of loan was done. He was happy as he was paying a lower rate of interest, and he also got an additional loan amount. So as you see here, deAsra, he came to deAsra and advice was given to him, a mentorship was given to him, which helped him pay the private loans which were of very high interest, that was around 18 to 24%, wherein the bank gave him a lesser rate of interest, that was around 14, say 12 to 14%. He saved a lot of money which were going in the interest area. Finally, he was happy because the profits were now in place. The bank sanctioned his loan, as you can see here, for a bigger amount. Obviously, the bank acquired other two loans which he had, and then also sanctioned a new loan with a lesser rate of interest. So what you need to learn from here is, please ensure the source from where you're getting the funds, and also try to avoid money lenders or the private lenders. So now let us see what is gap analysis. Gap analysis help you to identify the problem area, identify the gaps in your business, and also now here I am going to show you the problems identified, suggestions for improvement, and supporting resources and tools that we have at deAsra. So let's have a look at the first one, low percentage of cash sales. So what suggestions here given are: reduce credit period to customers and improve recovery, offer cash discounts to customers, reduce exposure to those customers who regularly delay in paying the amount. Next one is unplanned capital expenditure. So what is CapEx? Capital expenditure is expenses for acquiring new assets, such as maybe new machinery, new shop, for example. So there are two types of expenses. One is capital expenditure and other is revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure is that that is day-to-day activity expenses. As I said, that is salary, repairs and maintenance and other unplanned expenses. Whereas capex, it is a expenditure required for a bigger, a long-term asset. So we need to plan for raising adequate funds to meet the capital expenditure. While planning funds, we need to ensure that those are raised from profits, raising additional capital, long-term loans, etc. Ensure that this should not be taken from working capital, as this may hamper your manufacturing process. Now let's see what supporting resources and tools we have. So for low percentage of cash sales, obviously yes, we have age-wise data and sales register through which you can manage it. Similarly, age-wise creditors and purchase register. So for unplanned capital expenditure, accounting services, inflow-outflow tracker, and cash budget tracker. So these are the tools which are used to maintain records. So as I said, age-wise debtors and creditors. So you can mark age-wise debtors and creditors here. Normally this can be 30 days, 60 days or 90 days. Our inflow-outflow tracker. So it helps in realizing how many, like what are the expenses and what is the cash inflow. Cash budget tracker, yes. So actual targets, actual cash versus the budgeted cash. It helps you to get the difference between it. Let's go ahead. So this is another case study here. So Mr. Girish was running a mobile accessory business and he used to keep a track of expenditure of his business expenditure. But then what happened here was most of the times he was unable to locate his cash. So he came to deAsra. He told us what his business activity is. He approached us. We understood what his business activity was, and while studying his business, we got to know that he was mixing up both the cash, that was his personal cash as well as his business cash. So finally, he was unable to record what were the business transactions. So what we did was we suggested him to use inflow-outflow tracker, which helped him to segregate personal and business income and expenditures respectively. So this really helped him, and also after he came to us after 2-3 months, wherein he was really happy with the tracker thing because he was able to locate his business as well as his personal expenses. So to sum it up, let's quickly have a look. So we went through the 5 KPIs, that is the growth in sales, availability of cash, that was today's focus, growth in profit, compliance, and asset efficiency. So these are the 5 key parameters which we have to study while going through our business, which will also help us locate the cash flow problem. So we give me a second. So now I'm going to provide you 2 links. That is the business performance evaluation link. As I explained you earlier, this is a evaluation form the certain questions which I addressed earlier also are there in this evaluation form. If you just take this evaluation for yourself, you will get a report from our end, from deAsra, which will help you analyze if your business is really going well or it is having problem in certain area. So I would request all the attendees, please go to the link. It will be provided to you in the chat window and take the evaluation test. You will get an auto-generated report from it. Please make sure that you feed realistic answers to it so that you will get a report where you'll get to analyze what is the exact problem you're facing in your business. Also, I'm providing you the feedback link, which will be also provided in the chat window simultaneously. So I would request all the attendees to give us a feedback. Once you provide us a feedback, we are also going to give you a link of this webinar. You'll also get a link of this PPT, a recorded link. So even if you have missed any of the part, it would be easier for you guys to, again go back and hear whatever the part is being missed and be on track. So once the feedback link is filled in by all the attendees, a recorded webinar will be given to you. Also, the PPT will be shared with you so that you can sit back and analyze. You can go through the PPT and see what exactly problem you're facing in your business. So this is the page where it says eligibility criteria for availing deAsra services. So if you need an appointment, so if there are any new business owners, or what has to be a eligibility criteria, you have to finalize your business idea. You need to have adequate knowledge and experience in the proposed line of activity, and you must have, or you have to undergo any training for the same. Maybe you or your subordinate. So this is the eligibility criteria. These are the deAsra services. I'll quickly explain what the services are. Business planning, that is when you're going to start a new business, or if you're thinking of expanding your existing business, we help you in business planning. Licenses and legal compliances. Of course, this is very crucial. This is very important part of a business. So we help in licenses and legal compliances. For example, Shop Act, FSSI. Professional services. Under professional services, we have trademark, patent, copyright, and other services such as labeling, barcode, etc. Small business essential kit. This is a kit wherein you'll get if you're a new businessman, obviously you'll go through a Shop Act procedure. You'll also get a mentorship. Next one is facilitation of loans. So what we do here is we prepare a project report, which is bankable project report, and that will help you in facilitation of loan. Improve your business performance. We also give you a guideline on how to improve your business performance. Next is marketing support and design services. If you're unable to decide what exactly is needed as in for marketing support, then we do give that facility also. That is our service. Business tools and knowledge resource. This is very important, friends. If you visit our website, then you'll find knowledge resource which is freely downloadable, and also certain business tools which you can obviously use, and that will be helpful for your businesses. So please, I would request again all the attendees to give us a feedback link, so that if you want any additions, if there is obviously, if you have any suggestions for us, we can know them, and we will try to obviously incorporate in our next webinar also. So we would be happy to help you. So now I would like to give a few minutes for question answers. So if people, if any of you are having questions, kindly let me know. Okay, so there is a question from Mr. Rajesh Kochar, and he says that in the 5 key areas, the suggestion is to add a question to whether statutory payments are made on time. For example, some business owners are defaulting on GST payments. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh. I have addressed your question. Yes, obviously the statutory payments have to be made on time, because this may affect your business. Very true. So we also have seminars, we also have webinars on GST. We also give guidance on how to be compliant, how to pay, what is the frequency of paying your ITRs, your GST returns, and obviously this is very important point. Thank you, Rajesh. So there is one more question: how can we get the templates for the resources? So yes, the templates are available. If you can just call us and let us know what exactly is your business activity, what problem exactly are you facing, then we'll surely provide you with appropriate template. Okay, so there is a question from Mr. Avinash. So what should be the duration of cash flow management or cash flow planning? Like he says, should we do it monthly, quarterly, or annually? So obviously, I would suggest the cash flow management, cash flow planning should be done on a quarterly basis. It is very required for your business, and the business always is in track. So thank you, Avinash. There is one more question from Mr. Vikram Kanwar. He says, is the inflow outflow tracker available on your website? So sorry, we do not have the inflow outflow tracker on our website, but surely if you need it, give us a call. We'll know what exactly is happening into your business, and we'll be able to, we really will be able to and happy to serve you with the inflow outflow tracker. Okay, so there is one more question. Do you help in collateral free loans? This is from Amit Pillai. So it depends on what kind of loan you're applying for, what amount of loan you're applying for, and in which bank institution you're applying for a loan. So I really need to understand what is the loan amount and what you're looking for. Only then I would be able to suggest you, because this may vary from scenario to scenario. So there is one more question. Yes, that is from Okay. So that is from Mr. Rohit. And he says, do you help in solving the rest of the key performance areas? So if there is a problem, do you help us in solving those areas also? So yes, I would be glad to help you in other areas also. We do help in solving problems in other areas too. So we'll surely give you assistance over it. But as today's webinar was truly focused on cash flow management, we had taken the availability of cash as a focus area. So the remaining questions, will send a reply to all the questions. So kindly go to our website www.deAsra.in, and you will also find 70 guides, 70 plus guides on our website. Those are the different business guides. You will also find different manuals. For example, if you want to go for a shop act, then of course you can use our manual, you can go through our manual, and I assure friends it is very easy to see the procedure and go for a shop act also. Please follow us on Twitter. Also, like our Facebook page, because the reason I'm asking you to do so is we give our updates of the next webinars, of the next events on Facebook page. So the updates will be automatically reflected to you. If you have any queries, if you want to write us, surely write us at team@deasra.co.in. We'll be glad to help you. Thank you so much. It was really nice sharing the information about cash flow with all you guys. Thank you so much.